Welcome everyone! In this video, we are in the Great League showcasing another very powerful team featuring Umbreon. Umbreon, an amazing answer to a lot of the very common leads that we are seeing right now in the Great League. Lickitung being one, Alolan Sandslash, Deoxys, you name it, Umbreon's probably really good against it. But you've got to protect Umbreon from Azumarril for sure, which is why we've got Serperior lurking in the back on this team. Also has strong neutral play across the board in the Great League. And rounding out the team, Cresselia, an added layer of Azumarril protection, also addresses Medicham, two Pokemon that are quite common that Umbreon really wants nothing to do with. Cresselia handles those two beautifully. There has never been a better time to lead with Umbreon in the Great League. It is very strong on the lead right now. And here we go, Swampert. We have two excellent answers to this Swampert. Gonna actually safe swap Cresselia as Serperior is the best answer, and we draw out a Sableye. Not gonna be honest, in the past, I would totally expect a Sableye in the back, but these days, Swampert has flyers in the back, so that's what I was expecting, but it's okay. We go for the Grass Knot bait, and they call that bait like a savage, so I'm thinking at this point, perhaps they don't care about flip and switch here, so we go for the Moonblast, and they just let the Sableye go, likely seeing it as dead weight up against an Umbreon, and now we see why they did not care about switch. They've got a Registeel lurking in the back. An excellent answer to Cresselia for sure, also very strong up against Umbreon, so at this point, I'm trying to read their play pattern, where their motivations lie, and I do believe what they want to do is get farm on Reggie. That makes perfect sense because the more farm you can get on Reggie, the better off you are. So they played that mid-game matchup very well, getting the Cresselia just low enough for Reggie to farm. We do tank a move from Reggie. We do not tank a second move. And this Reggie is far too healthy, even for Serperior to handle, so we do want to get at least one foul play, but they bail back into the Swampert, not knowing what we have in the back, and we just so happen to have one of the best answers to a Swampert, but the Swampert does have a shield advantage. But the beauty of Serperior is with the bulk, we tank these resisted moves, no problem, from the Swampert. And if you're wondering why I'm playing to a CMP tie that I most certainly do not win, it's because at the time, I had forgotten that Swampert threw two mud shots before they got out of there when we safe swapped Cresselia. So at this point, I'm wondering how the heck are they getting to these moves? But they had thrown two mud shots that I had not accounted for or forgotten about in the midst of battle, which is why it's always important to keep track of the energy. But they do even up the shields, and they're playing, I gotta say, I admire their strategy. They want to get the Pokemon just low enough to give that Reggie enough farm, and I love that strategy. That is a brilliant play by the opponent, but unfortunately, it is just not going to work out for them because we only need two foul plays to KO this Reggie here. We are halfway there. We've got one locked and loaded. They have no shields, going for foul play number one, and we will thoroughly outpace to the next foul play, just two snarls off. And this will be nighty-night, sleep tight for the Registeel. Valiant effort by them, brilliant strategy. This team was just a little too bulky, I'm afraid, but good game, well played to them. I think a lot of people are sleeping on the power of Umbreon right now, especially as a lead, guys. I'm telling you, one of the best leads you can run right now, and here we go for reasons like this. Deoxys, Umbreon actually does quite well up against Deoxys. They know that. They tried to catch a resisted foul play. We were on to them, making a hard team read. We go for this last resort just to chip a little bit. Any chip damage is always meaningful damage, as Umbreon's about as tanky as it gets, but we were making a hard team read. Deoxys on the lead generally has a Dugong and an Umbreon in the back. That is the most common Dugong DD core that you will see right now in the Great League. So we do meet this with our Serperior as Cresselia, although it does have Moonblast. Those Dark-type moves do hit us for super effective. So we bring in Serperior, has a strong neutral matchup up against Umbreon because Frenzy Plant absolutely hits like a truck, and they know that, so they are now beginning to shield their Umbreon, trying to make a play for switch, but this is not going to happen. We tank another foul play. There's no way that they're farming down. So now they're putting up a fight here, so we are now going to have to shield. because we want to maintain alignment. Although I am reading that it's perhaps a Dugong remaining, I don't know that for sure. It could very well be a Licky, which is why I would like to control the alignment here. So gonna look to get rid of this Umbreon here. Not throwing as efficiently as we should. You try your best not to cap out at 100 and farm beyond that. So we do control alignment. They do let go of the Umbreon and keep the shield advantage as they do come back in with the Deoxys looking for a farm here. So now I'm really wondering if it is a Licky or a Dugong. I'm going to go and say Dugong because that is the most common line, and we were spot on with the team read. Would have been pretty bad if it was a Licky, but it is not. It is the Dugong. We read the team like a book, my friends. And although we are at a shield disadvantage, I'm thinking we can still do okay here. Even if we don't win this, we will have the Dugong low enough to where Umbreon will be able to take it out, as well as the Deoxys. I do suspect we will perhaps have to tank an Icy Wind and get that debuff applied to us in the process, but Umbreon, I'm quite confident, will be able to do the job and get it done here. Going to go for another Grass Knot here. They will be able to hit us with another Icy Wind, or perhaps not. We're actually going to go for this Grass Knot here and then dip back into our Umbreon as the switch timer is up. So we're going to let them hit us with this, absorb it here. It's not going to hit particularly hard, but that debuff certainly does not help our cause, but I think we'll do just fine here. We are debuffed, but the Foul Play will still hit pretty hard on the Deoxys here. We tank that Thunderbolt all day, no problem, going for the Foul Play, and because of the debuff, it will not KO the Deoxys here. And they will take us out, so it's coming down to the wire, getting very close. A little close for comfort, if I must admit, but yeah, so this will take us out, and I'm going to try like heck. Look at the timer, guys. Have you seen this many, are you guys seeing as many timeouts as I have been? I've never seen so many timeouts in the Open Great League as I have this cycle, but we're saying bye-bye to the Dugong nonetheless. We get the resisted farm down, hit the Grass Knot, and that was all she wrote. That's going to be a good game, well played. Yeah, this Umbreon team was putting in the work. If you have access to all three of these Pokemon, I would highly recommend. But here we go. Awful lead. We go in the Serperior on the safe swap, and they meet us with the Trevenant. So from a team rating perspective, this is looking like the classic Azu double ghost line. Of course, we don't know that, but Azu lead, Trev in the back. There can you can bet the house that there's very likely a Sableye lurking as the remaining third here. They do tank our first aerial ace, and we call the bait like a savage. You absolutely love to see it. We were fine to come back in with Umbreon, and seeing the shield here and successfully calling the bait, we can now easily flip this, no problem. We're tanky enough to withstand these Shadow Claws with stab from a Trevenant, and we do outpace to these Aerial Aces, which comes in quite clutch for this matchup here. Going for Aerial Ace, number 3 here, grabbing the final shield. Hello, this is not flippable at this point. We will outpace. All we do is we shield this next move here, and we hit that Aerial Ace, and the Trev is going back into its Pokeball. We are saying bye-bye to the Trev. And they do reveal the third. It is the Sableye, so we've got the alignment. We are good to go here. Umbreon does quite well, obviously, up against Sableye. In the zeros, no shields remaining on both sides. We're going to take this return, no problem. And the catch is in play, but it's fine. They can catch all they want. That's okay. The reason why that's okay is because Cresselia will clean up these 2 remaining Pokemon, no problem. We have to just make sure that we leave this matchup as close to a Moonblast as possible, and that will one-shot the Sableye. So we're looking A-okay here. Holy smoke, Serperior coming in clutch, guys, in the mid-game. Flipping the switch, allowing us to control alignment, which is why Serperior made it into my Sleeper Picks video. It is quite good. The best grass type you can run right now. Yeah, this is trending in the right direction for us. We're just gonna cap out here, take out this Azu, and we are just a couple of Psycho Cuts off from the Moonblast, which will be sending that Sableye packing. We're making them pay for that very cheeky catch that they made. We get to this Moonblast, and we're saying bye-bye to that Sableye. Cresselia putting the team on its back, taking out Azu and Sableye. Holy smokes, good game. Well played to our opponent. So if you want to address the most common leads right out of the gate in the Great League, run Umbreon for reasons like this. Right here. Here we go, guys. A/lead. Team reading, guys. If you see an A/lead, you can bet the house that there's a Medi and an Azu in the back. The team was popularized by one of my favorite fellow content creators, the great King IV. Was his favorite team last season, as he proclaimed. So, of course, that skyrocketed this team. Here's the Medi they tried catching. They were quite unsuccessful in doing so, as I read the team like a book. What you don't want to do, you do want to meet it with Cress, of course, 100%. What you don't want to do is leave this matchup too healthy for that A/ to farm. So we're playing this very carefully, letting the Medicham get us as low as possible. Yeah, that's what you want. You want to be in the red by the time you take out the Medicham. Not likely that they try to flip switch. If they know what they're doing, they will know it's not flippable. We do take out the Medi there with the Grass Knot, and we are just 2 Psycho Cuts off from the Moonblast. That is the move you want to be throwing up against an Alolan Sandslash. Does more raw damage, and you do get that 10% chance to lower the attack. We don't get it there, but that's okay. We've got alignment. So now I'm fully reading Azu in the back, and if that is the case, it is nighty-night sleep tight for our opponent. Gonna wait a turn, as they love to pull off cheeky catches. Not letting that happen, guys. We're getting this damage off, and they do let it go. And there it is, right on cue. Azu in the back. It's nighty-night sleep tight. They do top left. So again, I built this team to address a lot of the very common teams that we are seeing, and as you can see, it performs beautifully. Good game, well played to them. Again, guys, I cannot stress enough, there has never been a better time to lead Umbreon in the Great League than right now. But not with a lead like that. We had a Venusaur, and they safe swap a Steelix. So I have been seeing this team make the rounds. In terms of team reading, it's a Venu Lead, Steelix, safe swap, and generally an A/ in the back. But if I may depart here and comment on that team comp, guys, Steelix is not a good safe swap. There are just far too many Azus lurking in the back on most teams, and if you draw that out, you're in trouble. But you can't safe swap A/ either, so not the two best steel types that I would run in the back. But speaking of A/, I'm making the team read, which is why we brought Cresselia in here onto the Steelix. It has the better matchup up against Steelix than, of course, A/, as it can do absolutely nothing against A/. So we are just tanking debuff after debuff here. They don't do very much damage, but they do, of course, lower that attack every single time, and that is the hand that we were dealt here. We're just going to do our best. We do have neutral Grass Knots, and we do get to them quite fast, so we do have that working for us here. And speaking of, that's what we're going to go for up against the Steelix here, and we are just going to look to throw with proper timing before we go for the next one. If you have a 2-turn up against a 3-turn, you want to be throwing on 1, 4, 7, or 10, and we say bye-bye to the Steelix as they play out the zeros. We're going to instantly pivot back into our Umbreon here and look to put in some work up against this Venusaur. We did have loaded energy, as we did bank a ton of energy on that Steelix, and we do survive a Frenzy Plant here. And if I'm accurate on my team read, it's not quite trending in the right direction, but we're gonna try our best here. Going for another foul play here on the Venusaur, and they do let it go. That is brilliant. So they let that go. Gonna go for another one. Try our luck yet again, and either take out the Venu or grab a shield. We're fine with either one. And I do believe we let this go here and put the hope and faith in the Serperior up a shield. But this Venusaur has overfarmed brilliantly, so we do have to keep that in mind, which is why we're going to catch the move onto our low health Cresselia. Trying what we can, trying to do what we can to get this one done, and it is the A/ in the back. So the team read was accurate. I'm going to go for the Frenzy Plant here, of course. Hits like a truck, although resisted. Does about 40% health, holy smokes. But we can't really tank a Ice Punch. Although it's not the best charge move in the world, it has Stab, and it is coming from a Shadow. Gonna try and bait here. I think that's our only play. We have to successfully bait, land that Frenzy, and that's the win con that I have spotted here, so that's what we're going to go for here. Hoping to grab that final shield, but they called it? Holy smokes, what a savage call. Oh my gosh, that is awful. That is absolutely awful. Not only did we find our win con, but they read our win con and played against it brilliantly, my goodness. That was brutal, but we tried our best. To be honest, we had no business beating that team anyways. So, yeah, tried our best, couldn't get it done. Good game, well played to them. Oh, it seems everybody's running bulk in this cycle, guys. I've never seen so many timeouts in my life. But here we go. Speaking of bulk, had a brilliant Lickitung Lead. They safe swapped Steelix yet again in the Great League. So what I like to do is chip this thing, and I do believe we're going to come in with the Serperior again, but I do believe we're going to tank this move first. Doesn't hit very hard, hits like a wet noodle, doesn't do much damage, so we're just going to negate all their efforts there and swap into Cresselia here, clearing that debuff in the process. We did get some chip damage in, but they are at yet another breaking swipe, lowering our attack yet again. Going to throw one and then the move. That is proper timing. Again, if you run a 2-turn fast move and you're up against a Pokemon that runs a 3, you'll want to be throwing up 1, 4, 7, or 10. And yeah, we're just gonna let... Oh, they banked a bunch of energy. We were waiting for them to throw so that we can throw with proper timing, but they banked the energy, and they're back in on their Licky. They're taking advantage of the misaligned switch clocks here. Now, with a Pokemon as tanky as Lickitung and a Pokemon that can debuff and also quite tanky in Steelix, I'm aware that a timeout scenario is very, very possible. We've got some bulk on our team as well. When you have an extremely bulky team on both sides, timeouts are inevitable. It is just wild to see, my friends. But we are back in on our Umbreon here. And this is the alignment you want if you're up against the Licky, of course. This is why we're leading Umbreon. Again, has an excellent matchup up against Lickitung. One of the few Pokemon that do, by the way. Yeah, we are just in and out on both sides. They're backing on the Steelix. They are keeping track of the switch clock to perfection here, and we're just going to throw the move to burn the clock on our end as well. We do want to get out of here, but we're going to let this breaking swipe go. It's not going to KO us. I'm totally prepared for a timeout scenario, which is why we're both tap dancing around here. The timer will be approaching very soon. So we save the Umbreon because if you want to win a timeout, your best bet is to preserve all 3 Pokemon. The next win con on a timeout strat is health remaining. Cresselia is still relatively healthy. We do have the Umbreon still going here. They're down a Pokemon, so we're that much further ahead on the timeout strategy here. We're not trying to go for a timeout strategy. I'm just prepared for it because that is just the nature of how this matchup is playing out. That's what it seems like they're going for. So we're playing carefully. Now grabbing shields. They preserve the Lantern and come back in on the Licky. We will start shielding now to keep the Serperior healthy and still on the field. Now we're going to go back into Umbreon. Our 2 remaining Pokemon are still healthier than their 2 remaining, so gonna go for this foul play, likely grab the shield. No, they let it go. They let it go, and we're looking good here. We're looking A-okay here. Gonna bait with an Aerial Ace and see if they still have a little bit of fight left in them. It doesn't appear as though they do. They were fine letting us take them out. But the timer is now approaching as anticipated. We will shield this, even though our Cresselia is healthier, and we hit the move to burn the remainder of the clock. But I think that they had conceded early on. That doesn't KO. But the timer comes up, and we are left remaining in the end. So good game, well played to them. So there, guys, that is how you recognize and prepare for a potential timeout scenario. But here we go, Tropius running Razor Leaf. So whenever I see this, I know that another content creator put out a Razor Leaf Tropius team. So the team read that I'm making is A/ and Lantern in the back. That's more likely than not. There's no other Razor Leaf Tropius team comp that I know of. So we're going to chip and dip into Serperior to draw out the A/ as Cresselia wants nothing to do with that thing. And that is what we do. So the strategy working to perfection here. They do tank the Frenzy Plant. Does a boatload of resisted damage. That is absolutely insane resisted damage there. Holy smokes. We will tank this Ice Punch. We do survive, and we do make another Frenzy Plant here. So now they've got some decisions to make. This will just about KO, and they do shield the A/ and going to go for a farm down. That's fine. We come back in with our Umbreon, and Umbreon, one of the best matchups to Shadow Claw, Alolan Sandslash. Does quite well up against Powder Snow A/ as well. We just outbulk the thing all around the board, so we do tank that Drill Run and going to look to get rid of it with a Foul Play. Now we're going to instantly pivot into our Cresselia. Up a shield, we will handle the Lantern and the Tropius no problem. Running Razor Leaf. They take forever and a day to get to their charge moves, which don't cost much energy. So that's saying a lot there. And I'm gonna go for this Moonblast. Of course, Tropius quite tanky. They tank that no problem, and they pivot into the Lantern. I was not expecting that. I expected them to try and get us low enough to where we wouldn't be this healthy for that Lantern, but they instantly pivot back into the Tropius, and we are A-okay with that. They do tank the Grass Knot. They tank it quite comfortably, and we will call their Surf Bait. They have to bait to get that final shield. Not falling for that whatsoever, and we are going to rip off another Grass Knot here. Likely grab the shield, and we do. So now we do just shield up this next Surf, and have to be careful of a catch. So we will shield this up, and we will outpace to the next Grass Knot. It did sped up, but we did fraction of a turn to ensure that they could not catch. And now it is Nighty Night Sleep Tight. They are energy dry. We will outpace to this Foul Play. And we take this one yet again with the very tanky Umbreon team. We say bye-bye to the Tropius, running Razor Leaf in the Great League. But yeah, so making that team read helped us out quite a bit. Good game, well played to them. Oh, Umbreon puts in the work in the Great League. Very much underutilized, I would say. But here we go. For reasons like this right here, you pick up these brilliant Alolan Sandslash leads again. White Umbreon, one of the best leads you can run. You got to be careful of that catch. And just as we saw previously in this video, it is likely Azumarril, which we see here, plus Medicham in the back. They generally safe swap the Medi, and I was prepared for that, which is why I just insta-swapped into Cresselia, expecting that, but it's still fine. Ideally, you'll want Cress on a potential Medi, and of course, Serperior on an Azu, so a little wonky here in terms of how we responded, but that's okay. Serperior can still do quite well up against Medicham. Just going to soak all this damage. Whenever Cress is on the field and it's not up against the A/, you want to leave the matchup as low as possible. That is what you'll want, and we are going to look to go for the Grass Knot here and get rid of the Azumarril after getting as low as possible here. We don't want to give the A/ more farm, but they shield. Hello? Oh my gosh, they are putting up a fight. This is not flippable for Azumarril. All we do is shield up this move, and we just go for another move. We thoroughly outpace. Not the best shield by the opponent, but they are really trying their best because they had a hard lead loss here. So they do come back in with the A/, get a couple of Shadow Claws, Got to throw instantly because I presume that they would expect us to throw one and then the move. That's proper timing. So we wanted to get the damage off. We can't have them slipping out, not taking any damage in the process. So that's why we did that. And we do intentionally throw this here on the Medicham because we kind of botched the alignment a little bit on our end. So a little bit of chip damage I was thinking would help us out here. So here we are. We're good. We got the chip. We're in a good spot here. We do survive an Ice Punch, no problem. But they go Psychic here. That's okay. We survived that as well. No problem. Serperior, the tank, is quite clutch in the Great League, I must say. Gonna go for an Aerial Ace. They don't shield. I was thinking for sure they would see Medicham as where the win condition was, but they don't see what I see, and that's okay. We're saying bye-bye to the Medi. Nonetheless, they want the farm on A/. That's not the win con for them, but that is okay. I'm gonna go just Aerial Ace because at this point, it's going to get it low enough to where we can shield once and just farm all the way down, completely negate their remaining shield here, and we are still A-okay. So even if you botch the alignment, as you can see, you can still clap this team, no problem, guys. It's such a common team. So running this team just makes perfect sense. And like I said, the win con now is just a snarl down. Negating the shield. They should have shielded the Medi, but hey, hindsight is 2020, right, guys? So that is the team. Good game well played to them. And yeah, Umbreon, guys. I wanted to showcase Umbreon pretty early on. And I just recognize how good of a lead it is right now. As good as Licky is as a lead, I think Licky is virtually invincible right now as the lead. Umbreon is actually not too far behind. It handles Licky, handles Deoxys, handles A/, and just about everything else in between. You just really want to protect it from Azumarril first and foremost, and that is what we have in spades, guys. We've got the Serperior making a return from yesterday. Made it into my sleeper picks for 2016. That's for good reason. It's about as solid as it gets as a grass type, and an added layer of Azumarril protection and Cresselia, as well as Medi protection as well. Rounds out the team beautifully and is a recipe for a lot of success in the Great League. But guys, I had a blast. I hope you all enjoyed. As always, I thank you for watching and keep up the grind. Thank you, guys.